And you'll see that where you are, where you end up in life, begins with your thinking. And if you look in the mirror and you don't like the person that you see in the mirror, if you're looking in that mirror and you don't like that person, the only way to change that person is to do like Romans 12:2 says. Don't limit yourself to what the world shows you. Never limit yourself to what the world shows you. People are always going to tell you what you can achieve in life. People are always going to tell you what you can't achieve in life. But you have to be able to get those thoughts together. Those thoughts are what's going to determine for you personally whether you pass or fail. In order to be a winner, you have to hang around winners. If you hang around losers, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be a loser. So another big part of that is association. How do we associate with different people? You see, like I said, I'll go back to that again. We like to hang with people like us. So as you start to go out and search for those new friends, that new circle of influence, you have to ask yourself, what can they provide you? You have to check them out before they check you out. You have to see how they think. What are their words? What are the actions that they take? What are their habits? Because 9 times out of 10, if you associate with that person, people like us, we tend to be like people like us. 9 times out of 10, if you begin to associate with those people who have bad thoughts, who speak foul language, who never take action or lack of action, and terrible habits, it's a real good chance. It's a very good chance that you'll also begin to think like they think, speak like they speak, take action like they take action, and you'll form the same habits that they form. Whether you want to or not, it's something that happens subconsciously. That means without even thinking about it. Without even thinking about it, we adjust to the circle around us. How many people are from somewhere else and came to Jacksonville, and the crew they hang with now reminds them of the crew they hang with at home? That's what happens. Without even thinking about it, we just naturally associate ourselves with people like us. People like us. Those habits, those thoughts. So we have to be able to be conscious of those habits and those thoughts. And again, never let the world limit you. Never, ever let the world limit you. See, when you begin to think thoughts of doubt, I remember one time when I went out for football. I was on the football practice, I was on the field, and we were doing up-downs. Man, we did so many up-downs one day that in my mind, I quit a long time before I actually quit. In my mind, I quit a long time before I actually quit. I felt that pain. I felt that pain. I didn't want to endure that pain. In my mind, again, I gave up. I said, I can only do 5 more of these up-downs. I can only do 5 more. And as I began to count down in my mind to 5, 4, 3, 1, when I got down to that 1, I said in my mind, I said, if the coach don't quit, or if he don't stop practice, I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit. And he didn't stop practice after that 1. And I did what I said I was going to do. I quit. I walked right off the field. And later I talked to one of the teammates who asked me, why did I quit? He said, why'd you quit, Casey? And the only reason I can come up with is because of the pain. I didn't have it here, I didn't have it here. See, a lot of times life comes down to mental toughness. Everybody know what I mean when I say mental toughness?
Pushing yourself to the max.
You got to be able to push yourself. You got to be able to push yourself. I promise you, you can do more and achieve more than what you have already. What you have already is just a little glimpse of what you can have. But you got to have it in your mind, and you got to have it in your heart. You can't let pain stop you. You see, a lot of times that's what happens in life when we go through a little bit of pain. We don't want to bust through that pain, and instead we let that pain stop us. And it's not so much the pain physically as it is mentally. It's all mental. It's all mental. That's why I like boxers. That's why I like people like George Foreman, people like Ali, great champions. In fact, one thing I about George Foreman, after he lost the belt to Muhammad Ali, it took him another 20 years. But he had his sight on winning that belt again. So by the time he went back, he was already an old man. He was fighting guys about almost half his age. But he won that belt again after 20 years because he had it here. And see, again, I'll go back to why I like boxing. Why I like boxers is because they're champions. They're champions. And the thing about champions, champions are made way before they go into the ring. Way before they go into the ring. If you ever watch somebody train, see, average people, we tend to diet and exercise. But when you're on that champion level, you train. You train. So there's a difference between exercise and dieting and eating right and training. So when you begin to train yourself, you begin to train your mind first. Mental toughness first. Mind over matter. That means what the mind can conceive, whatever's in the physical, don't matter. Whatever we can see in the physical don't matter as long as we can achieve it first in the mind. That's why I was telling y'all earlier, sometimes we have to trick our mind into believing what we don't even see. What we don't even see. And that's where faith comes into play. We can't talk about all this that we've been talking about without talking about faith. Faith is being able to not see what you want, but know and hear that it's already yours. You have to know it up here that it's already yours. Even before you have it. There was a story about a lady, and everybody ever heard the story that as long as you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains? Well, there was a young lady who had a mountain outside of her house, and she began to read that passage, that all I got to do is have the faith of a mustard seed. And all I got to do is say to that mountain, be ye mountain removed. So she did that. The night before she went to bed, she said, be ye mountain removed. And she went to sleep. And then when she woke up the next morning, she looked out the window and the mountain was still there. And she said, see, I knew it would still be there. I knew it would still be there. She let that doubt come in her mind. See, when it comes to this faith and believing and thinking, you have to believe it. You have to believe it and believe this. People are going to doubt you. You're going to doubt you. But by faith, you got to know it's going to be so. You have to know without a shadow of a doubt. You have to believe more than anybody's doubt. You have to know it's going to come true more than anybody's doubt. And people are, again, people don't have a problem telling you, no way. There's no way you're going to do that. You don't have it in you. But see, you got to use that as motivation to get where you want to go. You got to use that to fuel the passion that's inside of you. The passion that says, this is the picture that I'm going to look like. I believe it because I thought about it. And I thought about it. And I thought about it. And I thought about it. Until it became my dominant thought. Until I couldn't think about nothing else but achieving this. That's the path to success. That's the path to success. You got to know what you want. Think about it often. You have to speak it into your life. You have to speak it into existence. Every morning when you wake up, every night before you go to bed, in the middle of the day several times, you have to speak the words of encouragement into yourself. See, a lot of times we're not given the luxury of somebody being there for us, being that cheering section, that person that says, you got it in you. You got it in you. You got greatness inside you. Sometimes we don't have the luxury of that. So you have to be that person that tells yourself there's greatness inside of me. I can accomplish anything I want to accomplish. You have to be that person. And when you go back home on the block and you start to see that things are different, please know that they haven't changed. That you've changed. You've changed. Yes, sir.
On that, I'm backtracking, but on that Muhammad Ali and Frazier, Muhammad Ali outsmarted outsmarted Foreman. That's why. With that rope do.
That's it. That's it. And see, one thing about it, whether you swing it at something or you swing it at mid-air, it's still going to exhaust the same amount of energy. And that's how Foreman did. That's how Ali was able to do it. He got Foreman to where he was so tired, he was mentally, physically drained, that he was able to just knock him out. Anybody got any questions?
That's just how Mayweather is. You fight, you let him get dance around, let him get tired.
That's it. That's it. And see, again, that's the reason I like champions, because they're made before they go into the ring. When you're in that ring and you lose it here, you got to be smarter than your opponent. How many people ever played checkers? How many people ever played chess? Same board, different strategy, right? So in life, you can't be playing checkers while everybody else is playing checkers. When everybody else is playing checkers, you got to be playing chess. You got to be thinking that much further ahead of them, 2 or 3 steps ahead of everybody else, at least. Play chess and not checkers. I know some of y'all play bid. Y'all play spades. Who plays spades?
Oh yeah, Ace High.
Now, I used to be a spades champion back in my day. Before I retired. But see, I moved from spades, I played bid with. That's an old school game.
Oh yeah, bid with. I know about that.
So you can use the same concept there. Don't play spades, play bid with. Go to the next level. Don't always play what everybody else is playing. Don't always do what everybody else is doing. Outthink everybody else. When you wake up in the morning, you got to start outthinking everybody else. Everybody wants the same spot. And everybody's fighting for that same spot. And the only way to get that spot, you got to think yourself to that spot. You got to think, you got to be in control of the board. When you look at that board, you got to be in control of that board. You got to set the stage. They got to work your way. And it all starts with your thinking. All starts with the thought process. Anybody else? Bring Mr. Kitchens up. We want to wrap it on up.
All right, I got a quick exercise for you guys. How many of you ever heard of the Toyota Motor Company? The number one car manufacturer in the world, right? They got to be successful because the owner of Toyota implemented a process called the 5 Whys. W-H-Y, the 5 Whys. 5 Whys. So I'm going to give this to you guys so that at some point in time, you may not use it today, you may not use it tomorrow, you may not use it for a year. But I want you to just think about what they did with a process to make their business one of the most successful car companies, or the most successful car company in the world. So this is what they do. Let's say a vehicle comes in with a problem, right? Vehicle comes in with a problem, right? So here's the first question. The battery is dead. Why? The alternator is not functioning. Why? The alternator belt is broken. Why? The alternator belt was well beyond its useful service life and not replaced. Why? Y'all understand what I'm getting to? Here's the last question. Because all of these questions of asking the question, why, will get you to the root cause of what the problem is. If you keep asking a question, you will get to the problem. So here's the last question. The vehicle was not maintained according to the recommended service schedule.
Why?
Why? Because if you keep asking why, you will get to the answer. But if you stop at the first problem, you'll never know. You'll never know. So, think about that. Keep asking why. So I want to do an exercise with you guys because, like I said, this is our last night together, guys.
What? Said no end. Ask the question with why.
There you go.
You say why?
Why?
Because all good things must come to an end.
Wow, this is my first time.
It is?
Okay.
Okay.
You just got moved into this.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Well, We need to talk after this is over. So here's what I need you guys to do. I need you to do something for me, because when we were here back in the spring, one of the things I said to the young men that we was talking to, and I meant this with all my heart, and I'm going to say it to you now. I mean this now with all my heart. I look at all you young men in here right now like sons. Like sons. I got 2 sons, 29 and 35. I got 2 of them. And I look at all you guys like sons. And I'm saying that because I love my sons. And I love you guys. Because I see all the greatness inside of each one of you. You got to start seeing the greatness. So this is what I want you to do as we get ready to close this out. And you got to have faith in what I'm getting ready to do in order to make this work. Because if you don't have it, you're going to lose out. So if you're not ready to take this walk, where I'm getting ready to go, it's your loss. It's your loss. I want everybody to close their eyes. Close your eyes. Just close your eyes. 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 I want you to get still and quiet for a moment. I want you to get still and quiet. I want you to repeat after me. There is greatness inside of me.
There is greatness inside of me.
There is greatness inside of me.
There is greatness inside of me.
I will not quit.
I will not quit.
I will not stop.
I will not stop.
I will not ever doubt myself.
Doubt myself.
I will not ever doubt myself.
I will not ever.
I will forever and ever believe in me.
I will forever and ever believe in me.
Because there is greatness
There is greatness
inside of me.
inside of me.
Open your eyes, Joe.
Amen.
You gotta walk that every day. You have to walk that every day. Because if you don't, the greatness won't ever come out. It won't ever come out. Because the only thing standing between you and greatness is what?
Yourself.
Yourself. So you got to say that. There's greatness inside of me. I won't doubt myself. I won't ever give up on myself. Do quitters win?
Nope.
Do quitters win?
No.
Do quitters win?
No, sir.
Do they ever win?
No, sir.
Quitters never, ever, they don't ever win, right?
No, sir.
Okay, so if you quit, that means what?
You lost.
You won't ever win. You won't ever win. Failure and losing, man. That's the other side of winning. Failure. Do you have more joy from winning or losing?
Winning.
Really?
Yeah.
Who told you that?
Myself.
Who told you that?
Myself.
Nobody had to tell you.
Who told you?
Nobody had to tell you.
Jesus.
Nobody had to tell you why.
Because you feel
Why?
it.
Because it feels better to win.
Yes, sir.
And you got some people be worried about losing, and they be so like much worried about losing than they winning. So they don't want to lose.
They already lost if they worried about losing. They already lost. They already lost if they worried about losing. If you don't quit, if you don't quit, if you don't think about quitting, if you don't give quitting an opportunity to get inside your mind and become a part of you, you can't lose, man. Somebody wants to make you a quitter. And when you let them make you a quitter, you quit. You quit. Quitters never win. I have never seen a quitter that won anything. Maybe some of you have. I've never seen a guy who quit and won. Think about that.
I ain't mean it like that.
No, I wasn't saying you did. I'm just saying I've never seen someone who quit win. Think about it. If you ever saw a quitter win, something wrong with that picture. A winner don't quit. He might get knocked down.
He's not knocked out.
He's not knocked out. And what is he gonna do? He's gonna get up and keep going. Gentlemen, you're at the threshold of life. You are at the threshold of life. And life is waiting to make you a quitter. It's got a long list of people that it has made quit. Life got more quitters than winners on that list of quitters. It's more people who want to quit than win. You gotta want this better than the next guy. You gotta want this better than you wanted anything else in life. You gotta want to keep going and be a winner. Do not quit. There's greatness inside each one of you, but it will only come out if you let it out. Any questions, gentlemen? No questions?
No, sir.
For my colleague, Mr. Casey, and the rest of our Empower Squared group, I would like to thank you, A, for your attentiveness, B, for listening, but most importantly, I want to thank you guys for giving us the respect. For giving us the respect of your time to come and share this with you guys. Because that is truly one important part of becoming a winner. Respect, yes, sir.
To say, we want to share this last little bit with y'all. Give me tell you what the 5 senses are.
Feel,
5 senses. Give me one of them. Give me one sense. One
Sight.
sense. Sight.
Smell.
Smell.
hearing,
Hear.
touch, taste,
Taste. And sight.
Smell.
Now these are all, we're going to ask y'all this because they're all tools. You don't necessarily see with your eyes. You don't necessarily touch with your hands. You don't necessarily taste with your tongue. All of these things, again, are tools. And what they do is they send messages to your mind. They send that message to your brain, and your brain interprets them. If somebody was to blindfold you and tell you to put your hand in the toilet, and in the toilet was a Snicker bar, but you were blindfolded, what would you think it was? But we all can imagine what you would think it was. But again, that's what I'm talking about. That brain, the impulses sends to the brain, and the brain interprets what it is. In order to be successful, gentlemen, you have to be able to reprogram your mind from what it touches, what it receives from your touch, what it receives from your sight. You may look at something and your mind might say, that ain't no good, or that's too hard. You have to be able to go ahead and again reprogram your thoughts, reprogram your mind to believe otherwise. To believe otherwise. Through all of your senses, you got to know that your brain has the final say-so. The brain is the one that tells you when to stop. The brain is the one that tells you when things are limitations. The brain is what tells you that I need to hang around with people like me. Don't always seek out people like yourself. Seek out people who you want to be like. Success is almost being like someone else because the formula never changes. The success formula never changes. So once you get the formula down, you'll know that once you succeed in life, that's not your final destination. Because anybody can do something one time. Success is being able to do it again and again and again. And again, you got to realize it's a formula to it. It's knowing what you want. It's putting in your mind that you're not going to stop until you get it. It's committing to the outcome. It's having those goals. It's being accountable. And most important, it's about being able to think. Greatness is inside of you. You have to be able to think that greatness is inside of you. If I go to a water faucet and I turn the water faucet on and put a cup underneath it, I can only expect that I have water in my cup, because that's what came from the source. All of us come from the source, which is God. Would anybody not agree that God is great? Everybody can agree that God is great. So we come from greatness. All of us come from greatness. So you can't expect anything less than yourselves being great as well, because you're a product of the source. You are a product of the source. So greatness inside of you. You got to begin to think great. You got to begin to act great. Have the habits of greatness. Character of greatness. And your destiny has no choice but to be a greatness. Thank you, gentlemen.